Hey guys, welcome to Guys Garage. Today I want to show you how to file fit your piston rings and how to install them into your pistons on your LS1 engine. So if you don't have a tool, you can make your own with your old pistons. You can get the rings out of your old pistons in between the top and the second ring. You can install it right there. Let's do that. So now we have a tool to file fit your piston rings. So I always follow your manufacturer instructions, but most of the time they put a mark on the ring, which means the top of the ring. It doesn't mean that's the top ring. In this case, this one doesn't have a mark, but we can see that it has a shiny outer edge, and the second one it doesn't. So in this case, if I look at both of them, one of them is gonna have a bevel, which is gonna help for oil, and that's gonna be my second ring. In this case is this one, and it has a mark for the top, which means this is my second ring, but this side go up, and this is my first ring. So what we want to do is we want to clean that cylinder. Once that cylinder is clean, we're gonna start with our top ring. It's gonna be easy. You're just gonna go in with the open side, push it in. So now we're gonna bring it to the top like that. But we want it to be even, so that's where our tool become handy. We're just gonna put it on top, and now that ring is even. So I'm gonna start with 18,000, but what I want for my top is to be 20,000, and my second ring to be at 22,000. So this is 18,000. We're gonna put that filler gauge right in that gap, and 18,000 goes in pretty smooth. So when we put it on the gap, it goes in, no problem. Let me see if I can get a better angle. So we go in with 18,000. It should go in smooth. You can pull it up, no problem. So now I'm gonna go with 20,000. I gotta find it first. So here's 20,000, which is what I want, and it goes in with a little bit of friction, but still goes in no problem. So now I'm gonna go with 22,000 just to verify, and 20,000 not quite goes in, it's getting stuck. Okay, so it's 20,000, at the very most 21,000, but 20,000 is what it feels pretty good to me. So we're not gonna have to file fit the top ring because it's already the spec that we want. So now we're gonna put our second compression ring. Same thing, just push the open side in, pull it back up, and we're gonna use our handy dandy homemade tool to make sure it's even. And on this one I want 22,000. So I'm gonna start with 18,000, and you're gonna have to forgive my chihuahua barking in the back. There's nothing I can do about that. And 18,000 is pretty close. 20,000 is gonna be good, but it's not even gonna be good for 22,000. So this one we're gonna have to file fit. So here's 20,000. It's barely going in. so I'm gonna have to file fit this one. So when we file fitting, you only want to do one side. It doesn't really matter which one, but you don't want to do both. So in my case, what I normally do is if it has a mark, that's the one that I file. Okay, so this side is gonna be up and this is the side I want to file. Just make sure it's flat and even. You don't really have to do a lot. You can always go back and do it, but what you cannot do is to add more material. So once we file fit, what we want to do is to take the rough edges out. So just grab your file. And what we want to do is to fill it and just take that rough edge out. And once it feels smooth, we can go back and measure it. So just remember that it has a mark that goes on top. Just push it in. Make sure it's even. Ooh. We're gonna grab our file fit and we're gonna start with 20,000 again because that's where we got stuck last time. Okay, it goes in, no problem. So now we're going for 22,000 and see how that goes because that's what we want. We want 22,000 and at least me, that's what I want on this one, and I'll show you why. So you see it's still catching up, so I gotta grind a little bit more. So always just keep cutting that same side, make sure the face is straight. And once you do that, you want to go back and get rid of the sharp edges. Okay, so we're ready now for 22,000. Goes in very smooth, no problem. I can slide it out. Now if I try to put 24,000, it should be very tight, it should not go in, which is kind of what we get. So we have 22,000 now on the second ring. That's what we want. So I know a lot of people are gonna be really confused, or they're gonna argue that the second ring, the second compression ring, should have a less gap than the top ring, but that was the old specification. The specifications changed through the years, so if you follow the manufacturer instructions, they tell you that if you have a greater gap in your second compression ring, that will what you call it, it will help stabilize the top ring, which it will make it having a better performance overall. So you can do both ways, whichever you think is better. I'm just gonna follow manufacturer instructions and go with that. I don't know what y'all think. So now we're gonna install the piston rings into the piston. We're gonna start with these ring rails, and you have to be very careful because these things are so thin that if you don't pay attention, you might be able to put two, thinking that you insert one at the same time. So just so you know, here it is all stuck together, but it was two of them. So we're gonna start with the bottom one. So this is the front of the piston. They normally have a mark, and the bottom rail gap is gonna be right here. So you want to open it in there, hold your gap, and you can walk it through, no problem. Now we're gonna put our expander. It's gonna be on the right side of the piston, on this side. So we're gonna go do the same thing. We're gonna go back to where we gotta put it. You're just gonna walk it through. Perfect. So now we got one more rail ring. And if the gaps move, you can always go back at the end and move them where you need to. So that's not gonna be a big deal. Okay, so we got bottom rail gap, top rail gap. Remember, that's the front of the piston, and the expander joint is right here on the right side. So now we're going to install our bottom compression ring and then our top compression ring. So we did say that we wanted to have these on top. You just have to remember that, and this is your second ring. So for both compression rings, what I do is I have a little cap of just conventional oil, not synthetic, and I'm just gonna coat this ring with it. And then they also sell a tool for this, but I don't really think that you need it. If you're careful enough, you'll be able to do it without it. So the second ring gap for your compression is going to be on the left side. Let's see if I can do these. And all I want to do is open it. Okay, so there you go. Might not be the best video ever, but he explained to you how to do it. It's kind of hard to keep focus on the camera and do these at the same time. Some people actually just put it on the gap already and then roll it over, but the manufacturer tells you pretty much not to do that. That's why I'm opening the ring and then putting it back down. So we have our second compression ring. Now the top compression ring is going to be opposite side, which is going to be on the right side. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to coat this thing with oil. Okay. So we'll go back to make sure the gaps are where they need to be, and we have the front of the piston, we have our bottom rail gap, we have our top rail gap, front of the piston again, and then on the right side you're gonna have your expander. The expander is right here, and then you have on your left side you have your bottom compression ring, and on the right side you have your top compression ring gap. So guys, that's it. That's all I have for today. All the other ones I already done. I just saved this one just for you guys so you guys can see how it's done. No special tools or nothing, just if you're careful enough you can do it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it'll teach you something new.